Hello, Convene members. I'm Greg Leith, and I'm the CEO of Convene. I'm excited to share with you some thoughts as it relates to our upcoming Leadership Summit. Many of you have been to it for a number of years, and I think there's some of you that are new to Convene and maybe have never been. You're sitting there in whatever city it may be, Atlanta, Boston, Houston, Dallas, and kind of thinking, do I come? Do I not come? And I wanted to share with you some thoughts. First off, Westin Hotel Rancho Mirage in the Palm Springs zone is a beautiful place to spend a little bit of time to do what, you might ask? I would say to hear from God, to hear from others, and to hear from yourself. Now that might seem like a strange combination, but when I ran my business, I was so busy I didn't take time to hear from God. I certainly wished I could speak to other leaders, but I didn't really know where to find them. And I didn't listen to myself because I was up and going at 5 o'clock and crashed in bed at night at 8 o'clock and didn't have enough time to think about things. Things like, why was I lonely in leadership? What to do about complexity and overload? How to hire, how to fire, how to honor and value people. In fact, all those things will be talked about by some incredible speakers at the Convene conference. I kind of put together a little stack of books from some of our speakers. People like Beth Jones, who wrote a book called Jesus Life Coach and Jesus CEO. I can take you to the airport magazine counter in Chicago's O'Hare Airport when I first saw the book Jesus CEO. I said, if Jesus has anything to say about being a CEO, I sure would want to hear from whoever wrote that book. And in little snippets, Beth Jones over time dripped on my life and taught me that Jesus actually did have a lot to say to CEOs. Today, she's sold a couple million copies of many of her books, and she's going to be with us talking about what does Jesus and being a CEO have to do with things. How about Bill Pollard, Serving Two Masters? He wrote this book, In the Soul of Your Firm, where he talks about how do you serve God and profit. And that's what this little balance beam is out here. How do you deal with people, profit, excellence, and put it all on a God-honoring platform? I mean, that just sounds like a preposterous thing to figure out. How do you balance people and profit, excellence and profit, and do it on a balance beam that teeters up and down on the God piece? Very hard to do. Bill Pollard is going to challenge us on how we can do that better. And then two of my friends, David Bentall and Carson Pugh, are going to come and talk about the company you keep. Have you thought about the company you keep lately? You know, we've always talked to our kids about keep good company. The Bible actually says we should do that. And David and Carson, who have been friends for over 20 years, are going to talk about a friendship forged over time and their 8 accountabilities that have forged this friendship and made it really meaningful. Lastly, I'm excited about David Ulrich coming. He wrote a book called The Why of Work. And the Why of Work says people come to work for meaning, and that is something we don't understand as CEOs. We think they came just for a paycheck, but they actually come for meaning. So why come to Rancho Mirage in April? To hear from God, to hear from others, and to hear from yourself. Leaders are learners. Leaders are curious. Leaders take time to sharpen the saw, as Covey reminded us. So we're going to have time to interact with these great speakers, all, by the way, who just aren't authors. They're people who run their own companies. And we are going to have time to hear from others. You'll have hallway time as well as platform time, and you'll be able to submit your questions to each author. Nancy Ortberg is also going to be with us, where she'll talk about the value of people and what Jesus had to say about valuing people. Rick Gosen is going to be with us. He will talk about what the Bible has to say about being an entrepreneur. Isn't that something you'd love to spend some time thinking about? And Gabrielle Jackson will be with us. She's the CEO of her own company, a millennial in her own right, about 29 years old, and she's got some very important things to tell us about being a leader who hires and interacts with millennials. So join us in Rancho Mirage, April 27, 28, 29. It's only a few days, and our seats are filling up. Right now, our rooms are 65% taken, and in only a few more weeks, they'll be all gone because there's 2 very large music festivals on either side of our conference. So you'll want to go out to the website, convenenow.com, and secure your spot and secure your space. One more thing. This year we've said that it's important for you to bring somebody with you. Not so there's more revenue to convene, because we lowered the price of person number 2. So if you bring an emerging leader, a young leader, a second in command at your company, we've almost cut the price in half to $675 from $1,100. So bring an emerging leader, bring a young leader, bring a vice president, and say, gee, what could we do if the learning happened together instead of alone? You know how it's like. You go back to the company, you've got the binder, and you're not sure what to do with it all. You want to share with somebody, but they're not understanding. You get back into the day-to-day, and you can't figure out how to actualize and make tactical the things that you heard. But the Bible says that 2 are better than 1. Even a triple braided cord is stronger. So one fellow has signed up 8 people in his company. I was so excited when I heard that. And maybe you would just want to bring a few, or maybe you'd want to bring 8 too. But spots are limited. We're looking forward to being with you. We've booked a bigger room than last year, where we had 400 and some people. And what if we could get over 500 people thinking about, what does the Bible have to say about faith and work? What do these great leaders have to say about faith and work? How do I integrate my faith and my work? It can be done. You can find out in the desert. Join Bob Shank with the Master's Program and myself and the Barnabas Group, and together we will learn how to do it.